I lost my sister in 2000, my oldest sister in 2012.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So I was in the real grasp of finding out who I am and what I wanted to do with my promotional career. And as I started growing with it, she decided that she wanted to do that same thing in Little Rock, Arkansas. So she started pushing along, and then she passed away. So I wanted to see telling myself, what could I do to pay tribute to my sister?
And that's how you came forward.
And I noticed myself kept saying sister. So I said, let me see if I can find it. Couldn't find it, so I just kind of made it up. And I am sister, strong, independent, spiritual, thriving, and authentic.
Who I'm speaking with right now, man, a very, very important figure in the Oklahoma City region. Right here, we have a husband, a father, a barber, an entrepreneur, a mentor, just a man of many different talents. KB, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm blessed and thankful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Always.
Yes, sir. And we were just talking about how, again, my condolences to your sister. I didn't know that. I did a lot of research trying to figure you out, and that's pretty amazing, man. And I want to talk more to that, actually. How important do you believe Black women are to our community, our culture?
I think women are the foundation of our community. I think the women, I think their love towards each other and towards us as men is very strong. And I believe if we as men can support and listen to that woman, it will build the bond, and it will build the community, and it will strengthen the community as a whole.
I agree with that. And it's and there's a generational gap, right? And I feel that right now when we're dealing with like millennials and Generation Z, currently, when it comes to education, they are progressing, ironically. But when it comes to social connection, they lack. So right now, they are not getting married as much. How impactful do you think building a family is, and do you think that impacted the culture financially as well?
I do. I think as far as family, I think everybody comes from different. We come from the same cultural background, but we all have different backgrounds. Which and form is what I'm saying is that when your background, my background, we come from two different backgrounds. Right. So what I believe, since I'm a parent now, and to look into the millennials and the way that they see and think, just like navigating through business, through relationships, we have to sit back, evaluate, and come up with strategic ways to teach the millennials and have the discipline to tell them to put that object down that they're so focused on all the time, and they become dependent on that, and then they start scrolling and seeing things that are teaching them the wrong way. So us as parents, we have to, and not only parents, whoever the person is that's over that child, because it may not be a parent, it may be an uncle, it may be whoever is over that child. I think very strongly that each one of us have to come up with a strategic way to deal with that particular kid, because not all of them think the same, not all of them are doing the same thing. So you have to really pay attention to the kid and just strategically, what can I do to be most effective with this child, to help this person see him or herself, because none of us can really progress unless we know who we are first as an individual.
Yes, I agree. I agree, definitely. And speaking to that, when it comes to my mom and dad used to always say, just to piggyback off of that, it takes a village to raise a kid, Definitely. And you are a husband and a father of two daughters, right?
Definitely.
And on your way to success, and becoming the man that you are today, how impactful and how important was it that your wife remained beside you?
Man, I believe that women mature faster than we do. And sometimes our egos get in the way of that, if we just really pay attention to the woman, you learn something. Because I'm gonna tell you a story. I did some early investments with my promotional company.
Okay.
And she would always suggest things, but I wasn't listening. And as long as I kept doing that, I was losing. I was losing. But instead of her jumping in my face and saying, "Hey, yeah," she let me make my mistakes, and then at a particular time, she calmed me down and sat me down and said, "Hey, I know this is what you love to do, but you got to do it the right way." And I could have been the man with the ego and said, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it makes sense. So we started communicating. She was navigating me, I was navigating, and we did it together. And things started just because one thing for sure, if you got a wife that loves you, why not listen to her? Because she has your best interest. She has your best interest more than anybody else. And if she's going to say something, you got to listen. She may be right or she may be wrong, but she's trying to give you information to better you. So just because she tells you something, you still have to process it to make sure that it's the right thing. But we will come with a solution. I can say something to her. She can say something to me. If we disagree, we understand that. But we have to make sure that we share with each other what we think, and then we put it together, and then we break it down to get the right solution, and then we make the move. I don't know if you follow my page enough, but most people that know me, they know that I post a lot. That me and my wife, I have this model that I say we make moves together. And I really mean that when we make decisions, we speak together, we speak to each other, and sometimes it doesn't click, but it forces each one of us to think and process it to create and come up with a solution. So yes, I think that having my wife by my side and having a person beside you that loves you and cares about your vision is very important.
It seems like communication is key
Oh,
to the success of your relationship, huh?
most definitely.
Man.
Because if we can't communicate and understand, then where is the solution coming? You know, if she's saying something to me and I think she's being rude, or I think she's trying to do this and do that, versus listening and understanding and asking her to make sure that we understand each other. That's the only way that the foundation is going to grow, is when you do understand what each other, not only what each other is saying and how each other's feel, and understand their body movements, and growth comes from that.
Paying attention.
Yes, most definitely.
I respect that. If you don't mind, I'm gonna look at a couple of questions actually that I have, kind of dealing with that. I want to know about. So we all deal with. There's a lack when it comes to resources within the Black community due to systematic inequalities.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
And looking at this beautiful establishment, how was it that you were able to get ahead of the curve when so many fall for the trap that's set for us?
Well, I believe until you find out who you are and what your vision is, and learn to become an effective manager, you're never going to get ahead of the curve. Because if you don't know who you are and you don't know where you're going, the distractions will destroy you.
See?
Once you find out who you are and you know what your vision is, then you're eliminating chaos because you know where you're going. So when you find that vision, you focus on that and you apply discipline with that, and you become an effective manager. And when you manage something effectively, resources come. So if people are approaching me and I don't know where I'm going, it's going to create chaos. But if I have the vision and I know where I want to go, and I'm being an effective manager, then I do understand that, hey, just like the Bible says, it's seasons. So if I'm focusing on what I'm focusing on and I'm staying true and disciplined and have faith, I know that if I stay on that line, it's going to get better because I see that vision.
Exactly.
If I don't have that, then I am most likely going to get distracted, and I'm most likely going to get discouraged, and then I'm most likely going to have people around me don't have the interest of the vision that I have for myself.
So creating a goal and then setting out a plan or roadmap to that goal is what's going to do it. But also because you say these words a lot, effective management. I love that word. Can you explain to the audience what that means?
Effective managers is whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's friends, whether it's sponsors, investors. Once you put your plan together and you have a vision for that, you must manage it effectively. Because an effective manager, when chaos comes, he or she is forced to create new ideas. Whereas if you're not and chaos comes, it's going to be chaos.
Right.
So in my relationship, I listen, I try to understand her to the fullest. I tell her I love her. We do things together. We build that relationship, and we understand that I'm managing her, she's managing me. I'm managing my friends. I'm managing the business, and I'm trying to do it effectively. And when you think about effective management, it forces you to step back and strategically make a move versus an emotional impulse move.
Hmm. So, is there ever a time where effective management can become overwhelming? And if it is, what do you do?
Effective management forces you to step back. So if it does get overwhelming, you step back from it. And the resources that I've been able to put around me from managing effectively, which is those people that are in my circle, when it becomes overwhelming, you have resources, you have mentors, you have uh, friends that are right here on your side that understand your vision. They support your vision. They understand you. So if things are getting overwhelming, me as an effective man, I'm going to step back, and those people around me are going to notice that too. So we back off and we talk about it.
Right.
We find out solutions to hey, take a break, take smaller steps,
Right.
but you're still making progress.
So being so being a black man, there's a lot that we have to effectively manage.
Facts.
You know, throughout our life, and I'm not sure. I know a lot of people don't understand that. How is it dealing with all the different businesses that you handle? You with your entertainment company, being a husband, being a father. How do you maintain a healthy or even leveled mental?
You you have to put people in place, and when you put them in place, you teach them their role. Once they understand their role, then you hold them accountable.
Mm.
A lot of people either one try to take on so much by themselves and not be comfortable with letting somebody else come in and help.
Right.
And when they do that, they're we're human. Too much, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get tired. You're going to be frustrated. You got to have other people to take that off of it.
Right.
So teach people their roles, and once you teach them their roles, you hold them accountable.
Now, when you say teach roles, or what are we speaking to? Like, okay, in your relationship as the man, you are the leader. I'm not sure how everybody believes that now, but I myself do believe that men are the head of the household, right? In business, you know, you are the leader in that position. You know, are you saying that you're just delegating, giving them, and if they're not okay, it's relinquish their duties, or
Yeah.
how does that work?
Yeah, it's a process. You start something, you build something, you see where you need help at, you bring people in, you do the interviewing process.
Right.
It can't be, I don't care if it's my brother or my sister or my mom that want that spot. If they interview and I don't feel that that's a position for them, I'm
Yeah.
going to say no. That's the big failure. That's the main thing that people fail, is because they don't know how to say no.
They don't know how to say no.
So you have to stick to the vision. You have to stick to the vision. And if they don't fit that, you have to be able to say no. So whatever your vision is, if it's a job, if it's a business, and you got spots that you want to put people in, you teach them whatever that role is for that particular position. And once they tell you that they understand it, and once you put them through a process, you let them go, and now they're held accountable for that particular deal, so that they know that if something is not right, I'm coming to you. I'm not going to go ask John, Jim. I know who's in charge of that area, so
Right.
I'm going to go to that person, and they know that they're held accountable because they've been taught that road. Same thing with relationships. Every relationship is different. Some relationships that you and I see, and you be like, "Oh man, how do
How
I
they
do
doing
it?"
it?
They understand
Yeah.
each other, and it works for them. they manage that effectively, it's going to be a success. Let me tell you, you don't have to be a good person to be an effective manager. You don't have to be a great person. There's an effective manager. If you manage selling drugs effectively, you're going to have progress.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
What you say?
not that I support doing anything illegal, but I'm just saying that an effective manager isn't just a good person.
Right.
Because you can manage anything effectively and get resources and get profits from it.
Yes.
But on our terms,
Right.
we want to do the right thing.
Yes.
We want to maximize our potential. Some say they want to be successful. And if you want to be successful and healthy and in the right positive mind,
Yeah.
know who you are, know what your vision is, and manage it effectively.
Yeah. And there it is. So when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it is not easy.
Nowhere near.
A lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, and I don't think they understand the mentality and the resilience that you have to have, the passion, but also sometimes passion and motivation leaves. Can you talk to that?
Everything that you have goals for, all your goals and dreams will be tested for its authenticity. Everything that you do that you want to be great at, it's going to be tested for its authenticity. And what I mean is through the progress, if that's something that you really want and you have to go down to the dungeons and go through this, go through the heartache and pain, and you make it through that, it's authentic. But when you just dream and you see other people doing things and you just think that you can just do it and it hadn't been tested and you haven't been tested,
Man.
when the time comes that you are tested, you will not be ready and therefore you will fail.
Gee. Oh yeah. And we should sit on that for a second. So what was it that made you just say, forget it, I'm going to quit my 9-to-5 and become an entrepreneur?
1997, I was driving back and forth from Oklahoma City to Tulsa. I got a promotion from a job here and I was driving back and forth, and it started becoming a time where the economy was doing bad and the job was feeling it, and the people that were above me were getting frustrated and agitated and started making decisions and they started affecting me in a way that I felt that it was they were emotional decisions to say, hey, I'll drive 60 miles and then I get a call and say, we don't need you. So I drove 120 mile round trip, didn't get paid gas or time or anything. So I felt like I will not work for anybody anymore. I made my mind up, and that's what you have to do. If you want to really be an entrepreneur, you have to make your mind up and have to be committed to that, because then you will see how difficult it is to make something successful.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Well, y'all, we about to end this. I just want to thank KB so much for giving us so much knowledge on these different topics. Is there anything else that you want to add into this?
There's two things we don't have control of. That's time and change. But we can manage them both. Everybody has a 24-hour day. The billionaires and the poorest man on earth. So let's manage our time. And let's manage our change. And let's do it effectively. Thank you.
And what about Love Jones?
Love Jones.
Talk to me about that.
Hey, today is Monday, the 5th. Today is February the 5th. Love Jones. It's Saturday, February the 10th. Something grown, something mature, something sexy.
Oh, yeah.
And we create events. Our events are created with you in mind. Love Jones.
Oh, yeah.